Welcome back everyone to TNP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. Today was a beautiful green day, as predicted yesterday if you watched the previous video, or if you're in the Discord server, you would have got that beautiful entry into the NASDAQ today. We were up 2.67%. Beautiful green day there. You would have made a pretty penny if you got in. Now, today's video, very similar to all the videos we do, NASDAQ analysis. We will go over all the stocks and some cryptocurrencies too that I am keeping an eye out for as well relating to the NASDAQ. And we will also look at the fear and greed index today, and for the first time in weeks now, we are above extreme fear, and not just above extreme fear, we are also over 30. So to me, that's a great sign that fear is leaving these markets, money's ready to come back into these markets, and we're ready to push higher. Now let's take a look at the heat map over here, and it's looking pretty green in all these important NASDAQ sectors. Of course, technology and electronics are the main focus here, and they're looking pretty green to me. I mean, Microsoft had a great day moving up 3.5%. NVIDIA, same thing there. And you know what? I think we're ready to move market sentiment, and we were ready to shift into a bullish market here. Now, this is how you could have predicted that yourself, being an independent trader and being a non-biased trader as well. This is how you could have found that opportunity here, and it's very simple. You will hear talk about fair value gaps and order blocks and whatever, and I'm not doubting that stuff works. It definitely works for a lot of traders, but it's overcomplicated. Why are you doing all this work when I could have drawn one straight line and made more money than you too? So that's what I'm saying. I love my support and resistance. It does not fail me, and it seems to win over and over again. And when you're working on a high time frame, especially like the 1-day time frame, that's when you get really clear entries, and that's when I find that my win rate is just, is just on point there. So very simple. We got this break of this resistance line, and right now we're ready to push higher. And now if you look at the market structure too, you do have that low here, and then you have a higher low over here, and this is, marginally a higher high as well on the chart. So that is looking really good to me. Now, one thing to note here, we did open up a gap in the NASDAQ. If you take a look at the QQQ chart, so there is a potential that we could come back into a later date and fill this gap here at about 18,200. But for now, I believe that we're going to be in a pretty rampant bull market, especially that we got this break here of resistance over there. So very simple. I believe that if you are a long-term investor, you can be looking for all-time high reaches before we get a new lower low. That is what I think is going to be the most probable here, considering that we have a lot of indication that we're in a bull market now. And with your stop loss, you can keep it, pretty conservative. You can have it all the way down to this 18,200 level. But I am, if you are reading the Discord alerts, you see that we actually moved our stop loss there, and we are having a better risk reward here at 14. And you know what? We're gonna win over here at 18%, take profit. So you know what? I'm not tripping about your order blocks. I'm not tripping about whatever, because I'm gonna sit back, let my money work for me, and I'm gonna be enjoying life in the meantime and not worrying about a 15-minute candle or whatever bullshit that I cannot be concerned about. So bullish scenario is that we keep going higher. We could have a new potential resistance over here, a new potential support over here. This is looking pretty steep, and I would expect this to correct in the future potentially. But for a short-term resistance line, this can be something that you are looking out for. But yeah, that is the bullish scenario. I believe we will reach all-time highs within maybe a month and a half. Now, the bearish scenario is very simple too. It's either going to be a break, and in my opinion, it will be a break of this 18,200 support line, and from there you could expect to move lower all the way down to this resistance line here at 17,000. This is held as a very strong support line over here. This is also all-time highs back in 2022 as well. Or actually one support line a little lower. But we do have a lot of money coming to this area over here, so you can keep an eye out for that. But right now, I am looking for bullish opportunities in the market. Now, let's take a look at the individual stocks surrounding the NASDAQ. We'll take a look at Microsoft here. And Microsoft has been looking like a huge block for the past couple of years here. So you know what? I'd like to see this year a nice bullish breakout where we move to new all-time highs, so we move higher in the market. But right now, let's take a look at Microsoft a little bit deeper, and we haven't broken the falling resistance line over here. And post in after hours in the market, it looks like we are above that resistance line there. We'll see if we hold or if we gap up in the morning, but right now we have marginally broken this resistance line over here, so that is nice to see that we are getting a little bit of a higher high than some of the previous market moves there. And again, if you are looking for a long-term position in Microsoft, this is a great time. 21% to the upside to all-time highs. And yeah, Microsoft, solid company, great quantum computer stuff, a lot of AI, their computers are great, so keep an eye out on Microsoft. Let's move on to Apple over here, and we will take a look at the chart over here. And again, Apple, just like Microsoft, you have an over 20% all-time upside to the all-time high over here. And now with Apple, again, we did get another marginal break of support here, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. People talk about when you look for support and resistance breaks to look for volume, and yes, in theory I understand, but that's not how it works in reality. Sometimes when you have these marginal breaks, like take a look at the one today, right? You were just beating the resistance by just a few points, yet we still had a huge green day. And there will be a lot of times where you get a lot of volume, and that's the bull traps that you get, and the market comes right back down to where it was before, and you get faked out. So again, I believe that volume is not really that important in the market. So if you are looking for a good buying opportunity, I would say in the Apple, you can go and look for a take profit at 219 over here, and that would be a pretty safe take profit level for Apple. But yeah, if you want to be waiting for more confluence, you can wait for more confirmation and wait for that break of the resistance line over there. Peep a look at Google, and I'm really liking Google over here. The PE ratio is super low, the price here is super low, and just like all these other stocks, we do have that higher high pattern, and we did break out of the resistance as well on Google. So this is looking really, really good to me. And again, 36% upside, P ratio is under 25, and so I'm buying. And don't wait too, we did have earnings today, and it looks like we did beat earnings by quite a bit. Surprise earnings of 40%, holy shit. That's looking really good. So you know what? I'm calling upside here. I am calling a market bottom, and we will see where Google is going to go here. But you know what? If you are expecting a short-term trade, you can be looking at this 176 level. It looks like that is a pretty good resistance level over there to take some short-term profit. If you're a long trader, just let that money ride, People look at Shiba, and I did talk about in previous videos about the break of not just straight lines when it comes to cryptocurrencies and very high volatile securities, but instead this kind of arcing line over here. And you can create this line very simply just by looking at the touches and making sure that the top of the line does line up with the top of the market, and I find this to be pretty successful here. If you take a look at previous examples over here too, and you will find this, you'll spot this very, very easily, even before you draw a straight line, because that straight line will get violated very, very soon. So if you find that your straight line resistance isn't working, try to create one of these arcs here, because as we see here, we have the top touching this arc here, and we finally get this breakout over here. Very, very clean touches, very clean touches. And when we finally get a candle body that breaks through this line, it's go time, and you get these huge upsides on Shiba. The same thing works with Doge, the same thing will work with these smaller, well, I'm not going to say smaller, but market caps of cryptocurrencies that are smaller than Bitcoin, of course, or just, meme coins in general. But yeah, we are still above this resistance level, and I believe that a very safe take profit that you can be looking for is either going to be here at 1600, or it's going to be over here at this 2400 level, and you are looking for 80% upside. There's nothing wrong with holding long term for Shiba, and when I mean long term, I'm not talking about years and years. No, Shiba is not going to go to 1 cent. That's not happening ever. Let me just let you know that for now. But when I say long term, you can be looking for these big moves where we move up to these really high peaks over here, and this is a good potential resistance level that you are looking for, which is a recent swing high. And yeah, that is what I'm looking for here for Shiba. Keep a look at nvidia over here, and we do have this resistance line this support line that could be forming soon. And again, the resistance line for nvidia is a little bit extended here, but if you believe in nvidia as a company, this is a great time to go ahead and buy in the long term. And again, short term, the market's moving. Nvidia is a market mover too. You do have earnings coming up soon for Nvidia as well, so you can be keeping an eye out, and you can be looking for another buying opportunity when we come back and touch this support line over here. And yeah, looking for more support when it comes to your trading, come take a look at the link in the description, wap.com/tnpfinance, and from there you'll be able to get trade alerts, monthly stock picks, and also just ask me questions, and also get free one-on-one trading sessions as well. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, but you are getting fantastic entries, and we're currently beating the market by 15% even before our 9x leverage. Leverage is a complete choice. That's up to you. If you're willing to, you have that luxury of money that you're willing to risk, you can use that too. But regardless, we are beating the market by a substantial amount while everybody in the S&P is in the red. And you would have gotten this fantastic entry today, making 19% after a leverage, if you did join that Discord server. So if you aren't, come take a look at us. We are placing lots of trades very, very soon and making wins very, very soon too. But I will see y'all in the next video later on. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Best of luck in this market. Stay safe. Stay unbiased, let the market does what it has to do. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit later, y'all. Bye.